Once upon a time, in the heart of a mystical kingdom of Nubia, where the sun kissed the golden sands with its warmth, the goddess sisters Nyangi, Ganzi, and Akampa reigned over their domain with grace and power. Nyangi, the youngest and most radiant among them, approached her 5,000th birthday, a milestone celebrated by the gods and mortals alike. In this land, 5,000 years is equivalent to 18 years of a human being. As the sun rose on the day of Nyanji's birthday, the kingdom buzzed with anticipation, for it was time for the sacred ritual that occurred once in a goddess's lifetime on her 5,000th birthday. Their mother, the queen goddess and supreme creator, Naigu, declared a competition to choose 3 worthy men to bear the children of her daughter. However, in this land, only a few special men are born with a womb specifically to birth children belonging to goddesses. Word of the competition spread like wildfire, reaching the farthest corners of Nubia. 3 men from all walks of life answered the call, drawn by the allure of divine destiny and the chance to partake in a sacred reunion with a goddess. Among the contenders was Abaho, a man whose heart burned with love that transcended time. As a young boy, he roamed the palace walls alongside his father, a skilled chef in the service of the goddesses. It was there, amidst the fragrant spices and whispered secrets, that Abaho's gaze met Nyanji's, igniting a love that would shape their destinies. Despite the forbidden nature of their affection, Abaho and Nyanji's bond deepened with each passing day. Their secret meeting showed the power of love in the face of misfortune, but their happiness was short-lived. For Goddess Naigu in her wisdom deemed mortal attachments a distraction from Nyanji's divine duties and forbade their union. Heartbroken and torn apart, Abaho and Nyanji went their separate ways. Their love a bittersweet memory that lingered in the recesses of their soul. But as fate would have it, their paths crossed once more on Nyanji's 5,000th birthday, setting the stage of a reunion of longing and desire. Meanwhile, among the contenders stood Kelo, a man of pride and ambition, whose lineage was filled with men of ancestral glory. His father, once a participant in the similar competition, had earned the honor of birthing Goddess Ganzi's beautiful daughter, Chebet, a legacy that Kelo sought to uphold with determination. And alongside Kelo stood Kamata, a humble devotee of Nyanji's divine grace, whose adoration of the goddess knew no bounds. With a heart filled with loyalty and devotion, Kamata embarked on the journey of the competition, his faith steady and firm in the face of uncertainty. As the day of the competition dawned, the men gathered at the palace gates, their spirits ablaze with anticipation and excitement. Little did they know of the trials that awaited them, each more dangerous than the last, all designed to test their worthiness in the eyes of the goddesses. Nyanji was shocked seeing Abaho at the competition after so many years of separation, and so was Abaho. The main reason Abaho joined the competition to birth Nyanji's child is because deep down he still immensely loved Nyanji and wanted to be among the men to birth her child. As roars of faith echoed through the crowd, Naigu raised her palms. As in tradition, 3 worthy souls shall be chosen through trials of body, mind, and soul. If found pure and true, you shall birth my daughter's child. Whispers rushed through the crowd, imagining such privilege, others fearing the misfortune to come. Under the watchful gaze of Goddess Naigu and her daughters, the 3 contenders faced the first of 3 challenges that would determine their fate. From climbing dangerous landscapes to fighting mythical beasts, the men braved their trials with courage and determination, and their hearts set on the prize that awaited them at the journey's end. Abaho, driven by love that knew no bounds, pushed himself to the limits of endurance, his every thought consumed by the memory of Nyanji's radiant smile. With each challenge he conquered, he became strong. But alongside Abaho stood Kelo, a man of pride and confidence. With each victory he claimed, his ego swelled, his ambition blinding him to the dangers that lurked beneath the surface of his triumphs. And amidst them stood Kamata, a beacon of humility and faith, whose devotion to Nyangi's divine grace guided him through the darkest of trials. With each step he took, his spirit remained unbroken, stood by the knowledge that he served a higher purpose. In the palace, Goddess Nyangi visited Nyangi's room for some sisterly chat. "I know what's troubling you, Abaho, right?" Nyangi, with a disturbed look, replied, "I haven't seen him in years. I didn't expect to see him after all this time. Right here in the palace to birth my child? We can kick him out if it pleases you and make him fail on purpose," said Ganzi. "No!" screamed Nyangi. "Abaho birthing my child would be a dream come true for me. You still love him after all this time? Mother will never allow it. You know that." Nyangi wept in grief as Ganzi embraced her. As the competition wore on, a bond of friendship formed between Abaho, Kelo, and Kamata. They shared journey, forging a connection that went beyond the boundaries of the competition. One evening, as they rested by the campfire, Abaho turned to his companions with a smile. "We may be the competitors, but in the end, we are all in this together," he said, his voice filled with warmth and sincerity. Kelo nodded in agreement, his expression thoughtful. "Indeed," he said, "perhaps there is more to be gained from unity than rivalry. But in the end, I will emerge the winner," he talked with pride. The other two men laughed at his confidence. "And a miss?" Kamata bowed his head in reverence. "We are but vessels of the goddess's will," he said softly. "It's our duty to serve her with humility and grace." And so, united by their shared purpose, Abaho, Kelo, and Kamata faced each new challenge with renewed determination, their friendship blossoming amidst the trials of strength that lay ahead. Nyangi's excitement for her birthday went beyond limits, but deep down she feared for Abaho's life as she thought about the dangers lying ahead. She wanted him to win by all means and birth their sacred child. As the competition progressed, Abaho, Kelo, and Kamata found themselves facing challenges that tested not only their physical strength but also their mental stability. One evening, as they stood beneath the stars, Abaho spoke of his love for Nyangi. His voice sounded with longing and regret. "I never thought I would see her again," he admitted, his gaze fixed on the palace. "But now, here we are, competing for the chance to bear her child." That evening, the great hall buzzed with speculation before Naigu ascended. She spoke majestically. "You three have proven worthy through courage and skill. Thus in the moon's light shall the ritual begin." In the halls of the palace, the sacred ritual began. Nyangi and all the goddesses assembled for the ritual. She met Abaho's longing eyes as they stared directly into her soul. Goddess Nyangi cleared her throat, breaking their eye contact. As per the ritual, all three men were cut with a magical dagger in the palm of their hand, and Nyangi's blood was dropped in each of their palms. As Nyangi's blood was mixed with that of the three men, binding them to her forever. With each drop, the men felt a surge of power course through their veins, their bodies filled with divine energy of the goddess. The wound in their palms healed immediately, meaning all three men were officially pregnant and ready to carry the goddess's baby in their womb. As the months passed, Abaho, Kelo, and Kamata embarked on their journey of pregnancy, their bodies transformed by the magic that now coursed through their veins. For Abaho, it was a bittersweet experience, as memories of his forbidden love with Nyangi resurfaced with each passing day. One evening, as he sat alone in his chambers, Abaho found himself lost in thought, his mind consumed by memories of the past. "Are you all right?" a voice asked, breaking him from his thoughts. It was Nyangi, her expression concerned as she stepped into the room. Abaho nodded, forcing a smile. "I'm fine," he said, though his voice betrayed the troubles that seared within him. "I can't believe we've met again after all these years. I've thought about you every day since we parted ways," said Abaho. Nyangi with teary eyes. "I've missed you so much, Abaho, but it's no use. Mother will never allow it." Goddess Nyangi in the corridors heard their conversation, her face sad, filled with guilt for denying her daughter's happiness. Nyangi turned to leave, but Abaho embraced her from behind, old feelings lingering hungrily in their bodies. Their eyes closed, feeling what they've longed for a lifetime. Nyangi turned to face Abaho. As their arms wrapped around each other, Nyangi and Abaho felt the weight of years melt away. The embrace was a reunion of souls, each heartbeat echoing for longing that persisted through time. Their lips met in a kiss that ignited a fire, sending shivers down their spines and stirring emotions buried deep within. In that moment, the world faded away, leaving only the two of them, lost in the intoxicating rush of passion and love. It was as if years apart had been just a short dream, and now, in each other's arms once more, they found themselves home at last. Painful tears rolling down their cheeks as their lips parted. Nyanji shaken gasped, "I need some air." She rushed out of the room with her heart racing. Abajo stood still, shaken by what had just happened. Just then, Kelo entered Abajo's room. "It looks like you've just seen a ghost." Abajo replied, "Nothing, I'm just thinking." Kelo stared at him for a moment, his gaze penetrating. "About Nyanji?" he asked softly. Abajo nodded, unable to hide the truth from his friend. "Yes," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "I can't help but wonder what could have been." "We all have our regrets," said Kelo, "but we must focus on the task at hand. We have been chosen for a reason, Abajo. We must not back out." And so, with Kelo's words ringing in his ears, Abajo pushed aside his doubts and fears, focusing instead on the miracle that was growing within him. For in the end, it was not his love for Nyanji that mattered, but rather the child that would soon come into the world. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks fell into months, the pregnancies of Kelo and Kamata took a turn for the worse. Despite their best efforts, they were unable to withstand the strain of carrying the child of a goddess within them. Their bodies weakened by the divine magic that coursed through their veins. One evening, as Abajo sat by their bedside watching them with a heavy heart, Kelo woke up from his slumber. "How are you feeling?" Abajo asked, his voice filled with concern as he leaned in closer. Kelo shook his head weakly, his breath coming in gasps. "I'm not sure," he admitted, his voice barely a whisper. "I feel strange." Abajo reached out to touch his friend's forehead, his heart sinking at the heat he felt beneath his fingers. "You're burning up," he said, his voice tinged with worry. "We need to get you help." But even as he spoke, Abajo knew it was too late. Kelo's condition had deteriorated beyond repair, his body damaged by the same magic that had once filled him with strength. Nyanji arrived in the nick of time, weeping as Kelo and Kamata's life slipped away. As Kelo slipped into unconsciousness, Abajo felt a grip of sadness across his heart. Despite their differences, Kelo had been a friend and an ally, a companion on the journey of pregnancy that had brought them all together. And now, as he watched helplessly while Kelo's life slipped away, Abajo couldn't help but wonder if there was more he could do to have saved him. Kamata gasped, "Praise be, my goddess, I have served my purpose." Just then, Kamata also took his last breath. As the dust settled, the kingdom mourned the loss of two brave souls. Abajo's pregnancy was due with wild contractions tearing angrily through his body. His face turned pale, calling for help. Nyanji rushed to him, fearing the worst. "I can't lose you too," she cried loudly. All goddesses assembled to perform the sacred birthing ritual on Abajo. As the ritual commenced, pregnant Abajo endured the dangerous waves of contractions. Then Nyanji, with a gentle touch and divine powers streaming from her body, she guided the path of the baby's soul from the depth of Abajo's womb through his mouth to existence. As the baby's soul emerged through Abajo's parted lips, a magical transformation occurred. As soon as it came into contact with the air, it turned into a real baby, manifesting a living, breathing child. The masses gasped in admiration and wonder of the divine powers. Abajo fell unconscious. After everything settled down and Abajo regained consciousness, Nyanji told him how brave he was. She said kind words to him, thanking him for what he did. She acknowledged his courage in the face of danger, honoring his role in this divine event. She bestowed upon him words of praise, recognizing the depth of his sacrifice and the purity of his spirit. They hugged each other with immense happiness. Just then, Goddess Nyangi appeared, glowing with happiness. She declared that Nyanji and Abajo were now together forever, because of their love and the baby. She blessed their union and wished them happiness. Nyangi hugged her mother with unmatched happiness and excitement. Abajo also knelt down in respect and praised the goddess for her merciful heart. It was a magical moment that would never be forgotten. Abajo emerged victorious as the kingdom celebrated the birth of Nyangi's child. Abajo stood in the chambers, cradling the newborn in his arms. A child, a divine gift from the goddess herself. With that child cradled in his arms, he felt peace in the embrace of Nyangi, the woman he had loved since childhood. "I never thought I would hold our child in my arms," Abajo whispered, his voice choked with emotion as he looked down at the tiny bundle nestled in his chest. Nyangi reached out, her fingers brushing against the baby's cheek with a tenderness. "Nor did I, but fate has a way of bringing us back together no matter how far we may stray," she admitted. They stood together in the quiet of the chambers. For years, they had been torn apart by the dictates of fate, their love a forbidden flame that had burned bright despite the darkness that surrounded them. But now, as they looked upon their child, a sense of peace washed over them, their hearts finally at ease in each other's presence. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Abajo and Nyangi's bond deepened with each passing day, their love blossoming like the flowers in the palace gardens. They found solace in each other's arms. But amidst the joy of their reunion, there lingered a sense of sadness for the friends they had lost along the way. Kelo and Kamata had sacrificed everything in the name of loyalty. Their memories forever remained in Nubian history. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting its golden light upon the land, Abajo and Nyangi stood together, their hands intertwined as they gazed out over the land they swore to protect. And in that moment, surrounded by love of their people and the promise of a brighter tomorrow, they knew that no matter what trials lay ahead, they would face them together, united in love and devotion for all eternity. The end. For more African stories and tales, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you're notified every time I post new videos. Thank you for watching.